Kaitlyn Thomas has been a singer and songwriter from a young age, and her first single, I Wish, was released in 2011. Since then, Kaitlyn has honed her country rock and pop sound and taken it all the way to our TV screens, which we may discuss. Her latest single is the anthemic Pretty Little Thing. Hi, Kaitlyn.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very happy to be talking to you because I love your country rock sound. It's a pep up sound, and when I put it on when I need a pep up and getting out of the house and all that kind of stuff. So congratulations on the new song, Pretty Little Thing, which makes a statement as well as being just a great toe tapping track. What inspired the writing of it?
So thank you so much. I'm glad that it's doing what it was designed to do. It is that kind of song that, I put on when I'm like getting ready for my day and I'm like, cool, I'm ready to take on today. It's great. But Pretty Little Thing was a title that I've had in my journal for years. And I never really knew what to do with it. I just had this title, Pretty Little Thing. And I was like, this is cool, but what is it? And it wasn't until last year actually where I had a production and recording session with M Squared, so Michael Painter and Michael Della here in Melbourne. And I went in there, I already knew what kind of song I wanted to write. I just didn't know what to write. And Pretty Little Thing was a title that I pitched to the boys and they really loved the title. And we started investigating they started investigating me, going, why did you write this title? Like, what does this mean? And asking all the songwriting questions. And, I kind of found out that it was about, all the stereotypes that women face every single day in every workplace, and us not conforming to those stereotypes. Me being from the country music scene and also the music industry as a woman, we're told a lot of things. We're told what to wear, what to say, how to look, how to act, don't sing too loud, stay in your lane. And over the past year and a half, I've been really reflecting on who I am as an artist and who I want to be. And Pretty Little Thing shines a light on that, and it talks about that, and at least starts a conversation about no one really conforming to those stereotypes, whether you're female, male, or anything like that, that you are just 100% happy with who you are as a person, and that you are 100% authentically you. And it kind of opened into this self-empowerment and female empowerment kind of song, which obviously I needed to write because it was written and produced in 3 days.
Right. When they were asking you those questions, just I'm interested in the process, did it feel a little invasive? Like, oh, now I'm not sure if I want you to know what I meant when I wrote that down.
No, I was kind of like, when I write with people and when I'm writing in general, it's very open. It's like an open book. And I do like to think that I am an open book. And, it didn't really make it more invasive. I was kind of just thrown. I was like, oh, I've actually never thought about why I wrote it down. I just wrote it down. And that got me thinking and reflecting and going, well, this is how I'm feeling. And this is how I felt for a very long time. And I've been in the industry since I was 8 years old. So about 15 years, which you wouldn't even think, but it's been a long time. So I've seen a lot of things, and I've witnessed a lot of my friends and all those kinds of things, especially in other industries as well, not just music. And I don't know, I guess it was just something that needed to happen, and it happened, and I'm just really proud that it did.
Well, and it's also what you're describing in the song, the pressures to look a certain way, be a certain way, they're all impediments to you being the artist you want to be, because of course, if you're just trying to tick everyone else's boxes, how are you ever going to find out what you really want?
That's exactly right. And, there's a line in my song that has, you do you, I'ma do me, but I ain't no pretty little thing. And that is seriously the case. Like, if you want to do that, go for it. But I don't want to do that. And I can't do that. I've tried. I dyed my hair blonde and it was horrible. So I've been there, I've done that. And now I'm like, this is who I am. And I think a lot of people feel that way in their lives and in who they are. And everyone's still searching to find themselves. And Pretty Little Thing, I hope, kind of guides them into the right direction.
I think also for an artist like you, it's a waste of energy to be thinking about what everyone else wants. You could better direct that energy into making new songs.
Yeah, that's right. That's 100% right. It's during COVID, especially, like that was 3 years of constant lockdowns here in Victoria. And I had a lot of time to reflect, and I was constantly writing because I had time to write, which was amazing. And I was also completing my Bachelor of Music at the same time. So I was being exposed to different genres and reading up into like literally reading into the stereotypes that women face in the music industry. So if it wasn't for my bachelor, I probably wouldn't have written this song, because I didn't realize how passionate I am about it until I did all this research and stuff into it. So it was quite interesting. But yeah.
Given that the title was something you wrote in a journal, it's obviously something that stayed with you. I'm wondering if, as a songwriter over the years, I say over the years, and you are still a young woman, but you have, as you said, 15 years, whether you've learnt that the ideas that keep nagging at you are the ones that are worth pursuing.
Oh, definitely. They definitely are, because I've got multiple journals all around everywhere. Like I've got some in the car, and I literally just write down things when they happen. And a lot of my songs come from personal experiences, but also like observations of what I see my friends go through, family. So a lot of people in my family are like, are you writing is this song about me? And I'm like, no, it's not, I swear. But those songs those titles, especially, if you keep going back to them, there's a reason for that. And Pretty Little Thing was one of those.
When you have family and friends asking if the songs are about them, do you feel like saying, don't flatter yourself?
I do, but I'm like, but you inspired the song, but I just kind of took it on a tangent.
Yeah.
As we do.
Now, yeah, you mentioned those lockdowns for Victorians, which were, just appalling. But you were releasing music throughout that time. So I know you said you were writing, but you also somehow managed to get some music out. I don't know how any Victorian artist managed to do anything in that time.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it either. I learnt so much during COVID, and it was amazing and it was horrible. It was like everything. It was a big roller coaster. And my single that I released during COVID was Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda. And that was like, I really wish we weren't in lockdown kind of vibe. But I went to Simon Johnson and we produced this track, and it was a song that I co-wrote with 5 other artists on a songwriting retreat up in Nundle called the DAG Songwriting Retreat. And I wrote this song with them and I produced the song, but I wasn't doing anything with it. And during COVID, I was like, okay, just give it a shot. Just chuck it out there. Everyone needs those positive vibes and that energy. And I did. I'm really thankful for COVID, because I probably wouldn't have released that song. And it's one of the songs that keeps getting requested at gigs. And, people have it as ringtones now in my family. And they're like, this is when you call, this is like the, what do you call it? The ringtone. And I'm like, yeah. Wow, okay. But, yeah, if it wasn't for COVID, I probably wouldn't have released that song. So I'm very thankful that I did. I don't know how I did it. I just kind of took the leap and went, well, I got nothing else better to do. So let's go.
And we should say that the refrain in that song is coulda, shoulda, woulda, swiped left. So that's true. Swipe left on lockdown, swipe left on a whole lot of things.
That's right.
Yeah. So you mentioned you worked with Simon Johnson, but that song you also talked about working with M Squared to record Pretty Little Thing. Had you worked with M Squared before this? And if not, how did you connect with them?
Yeah, so this was the first time that we worked together on Pretty Little Thing. And I've worked with multiple producers, and I finally found producers who understood me, like understand me now, and kind of get the big picture of who I want to be as an artist. And they totally get me, which is amazing. And all the other producers that I've worked with have kind of helped me shape into the artist that I am now. It's all been stepping stones. And, I reached out to M Squared because I know a lot of my mutual friends in the country music scene have worked with them. And I was like, oh, they're in Melbourne? What am I doing? Hello, go to Melbourne. Like, it's only an hour and a half drive. It's like nothing. So I reached out to them. We had a Zoom meeting and we booked in a date. And like I said, I went there with the title Pretty Little Thing, and we were talking about that. And I wore this whole rhinestone get up, mind you. I had this denim jacket that had all these studs and everything on it. So they were just like, I totally get this vibe. And we wrote the song the first day, and the next day we produced the track. And then the third day I was going in there, laying down my main vocal, my ad-libs, harmonies, everything. And it was like, it's done. And I was like, that was Nashville. Like, that was such a Nashville experience. But M Squared are amazing, and I've been working with them over the past year and a half now. So there's more to come.
Well, that's good news. That's good news. And in keeping with the energy of the song, you recorded the video with a live audience. Imagine that. Did you enjoy that experience though? Because I think you probably recorded videos in the old fashioned way with a studio or whatever before.
Yeah, it was amazing. I wanted to kind of capture the live essence of the song. And instead of going down the storyline, I'm like, the lyrics tell the story. And I wanted to showcase what I'm like with my band. And that is my band behind me, which is amazing. And they absolutely loved the track. That was the first time that they were really hearing the track. Like I sent it to them a few days prior and I was like, learn it. Here you go. Here's the chart. We're meeting on Saturday at this time, blah, blah, blah. And I put out call out into my community, and a lot of my students that I teach, them and their families came, which was lovely. And they'd never heard the song and they were just loving it. And every week from there, they were like, Kate, when are we going to see the video clip? When are you releasing your song? Because they loved it, but also they wanted to see themselves. So, which was kind of funny. But if I could have paused or clicked pause on that time, I would, because it was incredible. And I had you can see it on my face. I'm just like vibing and having the time of my life. And it really was that. It was incredible.
And you had a great looking guitar, a green guitar, which also features on the cover art. I'm guessing that is your guitar.
Well, it wasn't my guitar, but it is now.
Oh.
It is now. So my mate Aiden, who plays the electric guitar in the film clip, it was his Gretsch, and I've used it for a couple of photo shoots, and I used it for the video clip. And he said to me that he was selling it, and I was like, well, I need to buy this now. This is an unexpected purchase, but I absolutely fell in love with that guitar. I've only ever played acoustic electrics, never electric, and I think it suits me. So now I have it. It's behind me, like right there.
Oh, right.
In its glory.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love that guitar. It's beautiful. And yeah, it's just really cool. That's all I can say about it.
So are you a convert to electric now?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it might be a thing, especially in a band sense. But I'll still have my Kaitlyn Maton performing and those kinds of things. We'll never get rid of that. That guitar is my child. But the Gretsch will be making a new welcome to the family. For sure.
Well, the Maton is a lovely guitar, so I'm not surprised. Now, a very different audience experience happened for you recently with your participation in Australian Idol as a contestant. I should say you reached the top 30. What made you decide to try out for that?
Yeah, Australian Idol. I can't even believe that I actually did it, to be honest. I'm still on cloud nine. The fact that I was on reality TV, which was crazy. But Australian Idol was a contest that I've always watched as a little kid. American Idol, Australian Idol, everything, from when I was like 3 to when it finished here in Australia. And a lot of my friends and family asked me, Kate, when are you going to do these shows? When are you going to apply and get your face on The Voice or Australia's Got Talent? When are you going to do it? And I was like, no, they're not my vibe. I don't like them. I couldn't see myself being put on the spotlight like that under a fine microscope. But if Idol came back, I'd apply because I absolutely love the show, and it's more about the artistry and has different kind of, it focuses on different things. And it came back and I went, darn it, okay, I have to apply because I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it for 6 or 7 years now. And I applied and I had the first Zoom meeting, and then that led to a few more, and I got put in front of the judges, which was incredible. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Then I'm like, there's so much riding on this right now because I'm a teacher. I teach music, I teach singing, I teach guitar. I'm also in the music industry. So that extra level of pressure was definitely added on. But I got given a female artist, Gretchen Wilson, Redneck Woman, as my song to audition with. So I was like, well, this is great. I perform this one all the time. And I just wanted to have a really great first audition. That's all that really mattered to me. Anything past the audition was an added bonus. And I got 4 yeses and compliments. And I was like, this is crazy. And I'm like, these people are real. What? But then, making it all the way to the top 30 was amazing and an incredible experience. And you do get caught up in the show, and you do see yourself progressing further. So when it does get cut, of course you are heartbroken, and I did cry a lot, but I was also sleep deprived and very hungry, and lots of things were happening because it was a full top 50 week that was just crazy. What was shown on TV lasted an episode, but it lasted 7 days.
Oh, wow.
So it was crazy, but I'm so thankful for the experience, and I remained true to who I was and what I wanted to do. And I just wanted to go on there and showcase country music to a different audience and hopefully get them to see what I love about country music. And I think I did that. I just wanted to give country music that spotlight and make country music proud, and also my family proud and myself proud. And I definitely made little Katie, who's 8 years old, staring at the television watching these shows, very proud. I felt like I was like a star for her, which was lovely.
Oh, that is. And I've got to say, I picked you straight away. I was watching because I'd seen Piper Butcher on the ads.
Yeah.
And then I was watching that episode. I went, that's Kaitlyn Thomas. And it was a great audition. But you also answered a question I was going to ask, which was how you pick a song. But you said they gave you that song to sing.
Yeah, so they pick because of copyrights and those kinds of things, all the producers give you the songs to sing. And I was very fortunate enough to get Redneck Woman, a country song, let alone a female country song. I was like, you cannot pair this even better. This is great. This is who I am as an artist. And I absolutely love Gretchen Wilson. She's one of my influences. And yeah, Redneck Woman was just a vibe. It was like my favorite song ever. So it was great.
Now, you talking about when you left and being upset reminds me that Lynn Botel tells a great story on stage about The Voice, and she has written a song about being on The Voice. So is there a song in your future about being on Idol?
I don't know. If I keep writing about it, maybe. You never know.
So it sounds like overall that was a positive experience, but given the roller coaster of it, would you recommend it to anyone?
I think Australian Idol, out of all of them, was amazing in perspective of the artist. Like, you were given that moment to tell your story, which was lovely, and you're allowed to change things up, and that's great. You know, it's great exposure when it comes to being on reality TV. You know, that's what it is, and that's kind of, you got to be willing to put yourself out there. And everything that you've done in your life is out there. So you have to kind of be aware of that and be okay with people who you probably haven't seen, like a lot of negative things. Like, you have to be open to everything. And I was mentally prepared for it, which was great. And I was very fortunate to have nothing really negative come out of Idol. So I'm very lucky in that sense. But yeah, you have to kind of weigh things up and go, is it worth it for me? Is it not? For me, I was like, well, I have to apply because everyone said, you know, I said I would. So kind of just cycled into that. But I'd been thinking about it for over 6-7 years. I think I manifested Idol to come back, to be honest.
Wouldn't surprise me. But competing is also something you're used to, because you have represented Australia at the World Championships of Performing Arts and you've won medals. So I'm wondering what form that competition takes, the championships.
So the World Championships, yeah, I did that when I was 10 years old.
Oh.
Crazy to even think about. And it was amazing. I remember it was my first time, my first time. Yeah, I think it was my first time going over to America. No, scratch that. It was my second time going over to America, and representing Australia was like the Olympics in comparison with performing arts. And I got to meet a lot of people from all over the world and different cultures and different backgrounds. And, you know, we had 60 seconds. That was all we got for everything. And I did singing, acting, dancing, which I can't dance, but I did it. I did everything. And I was able to place in all my categories, which was amazing. The dancing one I will take, because I'm like, you want to know, I can dance because I've got footage and I've got, you know, proof of it.
Got a medal, yes.
I've got a medal, that's it. But it was amazing experience. And I still look back at the videos and the relationships that I formed when I went over there, and I was forever grateful for that. And that just came on from YouTube and being contacted by them. And I've been on YouTube since I was 8. Right. As well. So I've been on social media for a very long time. But yeah, the World Championships of Performing Arts was a highlight, and I still have fond memories of our big parade and, you know, getting to meet people and the connections and I was already under that spotlight of you only have 60 seconds to impress the judges.
Gosh.
And that's it. And there were so many rounds. So I guess that kind of prepared me in some sort of way. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe when you walked out to audition for Idol, it was like, I feel like this is a parallel dimension of time happening here.
That's right, except I'm big now. What's going on?
Well, now you mentioned being on YouTube when you were 8. From what I understand, you also started writing songs at the same time. So by the time you got to that point, had you been playing an instrument and singing from what age?
9.
Okay.
Much. So I've always been a creative kid. I can't throw or kick a footy or catch anything to save my life. And I do come from a very sport orientated family where all the kids played basketball, netball, volleyball, footy, cricket. I wasn't blessed with that gift, even though I tried. But creativity was my outlet throughout life and still is to this day. And if it wasn't for songwriting and being creative, like I used to sing my own version of Happy Birthday from like really little. So songwriting came naturally to me. And my mum and my dad was like, Kate, you've been singing for a year. You need to learn an instrument because you can't just be a singer. You should be able to accompany yourself. And I'm so thankful for them for pushing me to learn guitar because it opened up so many more doors for myself. So I released my first song when I was 10 and it more and more after that. And my first one was I Wish, which I wrote for a little girl here in Wallen. I don't think she lives here anymore, but she had a rare childhood cancer, neuroblastoma. And at that point, I was on 7 Awesome Kids, a TV, like a YouTube channel. And every Thursday we got given, or every week we got given a like a topic. And this one was write a poem of all the things you could wish for. And this young girl came to mind. She used to go to my school, and I wrote a poem about all the things I wish she could do that I could do. And I turned that into a song later. And that's how I Wish was kind of formed. And that was my first song. I didn't know it at the time that I was writing a song, but I wrote a song, and every download that I get to this day, all the proceeds go towards the You Are My Sunshine Foundation to find a cure for that. And so ever since then, it's kind of just spiraled into this big thing. And it was a hobby at the start, but it's not a hobby anymore. It's my livelihood and what I love to do. And I love my job, and I'm really happy to say that it is my job.
Yeah. So given that you were so musical in different facets from a young age, writing songs, singing and playing guitar, were you doing that at school as well? Like, were you in a school band or something like that?
I wasn't really in a school band until probably year 10.
Okay.
High school. I'm going to say high school because in primary school, I was part of choir. I was always part of choir and did the musicals and those types of things, but I never had a band or an ensemble or anything like that. But when I moved to the Northern College of the Arts and Technology, so NCAT in Preston here in Victoria, which was an art school and a trade school. And best 3 years of my entire life, I was there and I studied music and I lived and breathed music in what I loved. And that's where I made a lot of my great friendships. I formed many bands, and it led me to go study music. And it's just been, music has always been a part of my life one way or another, which is really interesting. But yeah, I've always kind of found my way into things just naturally.
Well, you found your way to both the junior and senior academies of country music. And I'm wondering, since you are one of the few people who's done both, what differences you perceived in yourself as an artist between those two? So when you went to junior and when you went to senior?
So the junior academy I did when I was 12. And that was after my first Tamworth. So I went to Tamworth, I did the busking, I did everything like that. It was stinking hot, I remember that. And I was like, that was the first and last year I ever did busking. But I heard about this academy through the CMAA, and my mum and I both went, and it was amazing. I made so many friends, and that still are my friends, and we're all still doing music, which is incredible. And having that network that you're creating in that foundation, and plus you're getting mentored by artists who are in the industry themselves, and they're kind of giving you a step up. They're giving you everything that they wish they had known at their age, or at our age, sorry. And the junior one helped a lot with my mum, knowing what to expect, what to do, those kinds of things to help. And I had the best time. My mentor was Amber Lawrence, and I still open for her when she comes downtown, and it's just amazing. And the senior academy I did in 2018, so I was 17 at the time, which was probably a good thing because I couldn't go out, nothing. I had to make sure I was home, and it probably was a blessing. But the senior academy was the same again, like forming all those relationships and that mentoring guidance. And my mentor was Ashley Dallas, and I learned so much from her. And it's funny, I had 2 female mentors. How crazy is that? But I was already kind of coming into who I wanted to be as an artist, and really cementing myself already in the country music scene. So the senior academy, I got so much more out of, but the junior academy kind of paved the way for me and guided me through everything. And the support that you still get after graduating is unbelievable, and I absolutely love what they do. And I'm even telling my students who are interested in country music to go, because I learned so much, and I still continue to learn, and I still go back to all the things that I learned from my first academy, and they all kind of trickle into everything music wise. Even when I did my bachelor, I was still pulling things that I'd learned from the academy, and it was amazing. And I absolutely love the fact that I did it. I'm so thankful that I did it, and really grateful for the friendships and connections that I made during that time.
Yeah. So you've done junior academy, senior academy. You now have a Bachelor of Music. You are extremely well credentialed in music, but also in other things, because you've been involved with the organisation Bully Zero since you were 12 years of age. And I'm wondering how that involvement started, and what do you do as an ambassador?
So Bully Zero Australia is an organisation that is so close to my heart. Unfortunately, I was a victim of bullying through primary school and high school, and that kind of paved the way of me becoming an ambassador for Bully Zero. I was doing a charity event for them, so I was performing at one of them, and I got to chatting with the CEO at the time and told them about my story and what I went through. And me being such a young person, they thought they'd take a chance and make me an ambassador. And yeah, since I was 12, so that's like 11 years, which is crazy, of being an ambassador for them. But I absolutely love what we do. Like, we go out to schools and workplaces and spread awareness about bullying. And it's a lot different now to when I was growing up. Even like social media was just coming into play as I was leaving high school. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different kettle of fish now, because kids don't just have the 5 days at school and then they have the weekend for a break and then they go, okay, it's Monday, let's go again. It's constant now. And I'm very thankful for my music, because like I said, it was an outlet for me, and I was able to write what I was feeling. And I ended up writing a song called Stand Up when I was 12, which is also another reason as to why I became an ambassador for the organisation, because my song actually got placed into Victorian schools for like for primary school and early high school, kids to listen to the song, read the lyrics. And that was the way teachers were able to start that conversation about bullying and why it's not okay. And we have a lot of kind of sponsorships, and we do a lot of endorsements, and we do a lot of kind of campaigns with other companies in order to spread awareness for anti-bullying, because it's not okay. And unfortunately, it is a part of growing up. And I'd like to believe that one day it won't be a part of growing up. I'm very thankful in some weird way that I experienced it at such a young age, because I learned how to stand up for myself and be assertive and not be a bystander. And I won't be a bystander anymore or anything. And that's just from my experience. And I grew up quicker emotionally at a young age, but it's helped me in so many ways. And I'm always one to give back to my community and give back to everyone who has helped me. And Bully Zero allows me to do that. So I go out to schools when I can, I help out with the campaigns when I can. And it's something that I've always cherished, and I'm very grateful that they took that chance on me and still have me as an ambassador for this amazing organization who just wants kids to know and people to know and adults to know that you're not alone. Mm-hmm. Everyone's been through it. Someone might have been through something very similar, and that we're only just a phone call away.
Mm-hmm. I think that message of not being alone also extends to the music you create, because music is a way of connecting with people and reassuring them that they're not alone. And you said you learned to stand up. Pretty Little Thing is certainly a song about that. Yeah. And you're such a dynamic performer, Kaitlyn. I can't wait to see what you come up with next. But for the moment, it has been so great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And yeah, thank you for letting me talk about all these things that I don't really get to talk about. So it's nice.
I found it super interesting. I just wish I had more time, but next time, next single.
Yes, that's right.
Thanks, Kaitlyn. Bye.